Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton and I am a lifelong Atlanta Braves fan. Have been watching the playoffs, really proud of the Braves this year. They exceeded expectations, made the playoffs, won their division, got knocked out by the Dodgers, didn't get swept, but if you're going to get knocked out by a team that was playing in the World Series just this past year. Um, no one thought the Braves were going to be any good this year, including myself. So the fact that we were even in the hunt just made me really happy. And I'm putting the rest of Major League Baseball on notice. The Atlanta Braves are going to be a team to be reckoned with in the coming years. So be ready. We're built for the long haul. We get some pitchers in there, and it's going to be tough. Today's Daily Record: Have Twangy Guitar Will Travel by the great Duane Eddy, guitarist. This was released on January 9th, 1958. This was the debut album released on Jamie Records. JLP 3000 is the number there. And this album in particular had 5 charting singles and a B-side that was also a charting single. So you could say it was a hit. Here's the background on it. Duane Eddy had released a couple of singles, and they were pretty successful. So he went on to do this album, Have Guitar Will Travel, and it's a mix of early rock and roll. There's a little bit of country and maybe some blues. There's a few covers on here as well as some original compositions. This is Duane Eddy and the Rebels, his band at the time, featuring a few guys you know, Al Casey in particular, rhythm guitar. Corky Casey also was playing on this album. That's Al's wife. Steve Douglas playing saxophone, Buddy Wheeler on bass, and Bob Taylor and Mike Bermani on drums. And of course, there were a couple of guest musicians, collectively known as the Sharps, later known as the Rivingtons. People are familiar with that background. Had contributed a few sort of vocal, I would call them vocal colorizations. A lot of kind of background noise. It's instrumental music. This album actually spent about 82 weeks on the Billboard charts, and it reached all the way up to number 5. And like I said, there were 5 singles released both before and after the album was released, and they all charted in the top 100. Eddy would have a pretty successful run on the charts. He spent quite a few years there. And there were a lot of imitation albums that came from this, or came after this. People like the Frantics, the Fireballs, the Ventures owed a lot to Duane Eddy. The Rocketeens, guys with familiar that twangy guitar music. Now, of interest to me is the fact that, and those of you that follow my other channel, know that I'm a big fan of Lee Hazelwood, and Lee Hazelwood was very instrumental in, excuse the pun, in Duane Eddy's success, and he co-wrote quite a few of the songs here. And those that know of my love for Lee Hazelwood. Lee Hazelwood and Lester Sill served as producers on this album in Arizona. The track listing here, Lonesome Road, which was a cover, Almost Lost My Mind. Everyone knows Rebel Rouser, co-written with Lee Hazelwood. 3:30 Blues, also a Hazelwood, Duane Eddy. Cannonball, Hazelwood and Eddy. And The Lonely One, again, Hazelwood, Eddy. Detour, Stalkin', which was an original. Ramrod, Anytime, Movin' and Groovin', which a lot of people know, which was another Duane Eddy, Lee Hazelwood original, and Loving You, the Lieber and Stoller track. And so that was the group, of songs that made up the album. And there were a few. The singles, like I said, Movin' and Groovin', Rebel Rouser, Ramrod, Cannonball, and The Lonely One. Those were all hit singles. So if you're going to only have one Duane Eddy album, this is probably the one to get. So I was really stoked to find one today at a thrift store. So cool to have. Have Twangy Guitar Will Travel by the great Duane Eddy. Today's Daily Record. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. In the meantime, I will see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.